What's good, Chaotic Nation? It's your boy, Chaos here. And I know it's been a while since I've done a best team video, but it's time to get back to it. This video has been 3 years in the making, as I was planning on getting a shiny Mudkip to be my starter in this game, but I had no luck, as you all very well know. But enough of that. Let's get into this video. The best team is designed to make every trainer's journey through a specific game as easy as possible, since the team will destroy any challenge in their way. This video is different from some of the other best teams I've done, where I will only be doing one video for both Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire instead of splitting them apart. Despite the differences in Team Magma and Team Aqua, this team is able to deal with both of them very well, and it makes really no sense to do an alternate team since I can take out both evil teams with this team, so I'm not making another video on this. It's just going to be one for Oras altogether. This team is based off of a best starter which is available to us at the beginning of the game, so let's get into this team with our first pick. As I have already stated, the starter I am choosing for this best team is Mudkip. As with most water starters, Mudkip rises above its competitors in Trico and Torchic. Mudkip has a great utility due to its wide move pool, as well as having an excellent secondary typing in ground. This makes this Pokemon in its evolutionary line only weak to grass. And this makes Mudkip just a really solid option for any team, especially for the starter of this team. Swampert's final moveset should be Dive, Waterfall, Earthquake, and Sludge Wave. Dive and Waterfall are HMs given to the player by Steven and Wallace respectively. Earthquake is earned at level 51, or it can be learned by the TM found in the Hall of Origin. Sludge Wave's TM can also be found on Route 132. I know that Dive and Waterfall are HMs in this game, but they are both necessary to progress throughout the game. If you guys are new to my team series on my channel, these teams are always built to be able to take on the game, which includes being able to progress through the game. HM slaves are not problems for the team as long as you don't need your 6th slot to fill an obligation. Besides, Waterfall is actually the best water-type move Swampert can learn, since it is a physical water-type move, and this is most likely going to be a physical attacker. With this move sweat, Swampert can take on Roxanne, Watson, Flannery, Liza and Tate, Courtney's camera up, Tabitha's camera up, Maxie's camera up, Shelly's Grimer, Archie's Muck, Wally's Roselia with Caution in his Magneton, Steven's entire team except Stormerly and Claydol, and Brendan or Maze, Raichu, and Macargo. Swampert is very powerful, and you can take on more trainers than just these, but these mentioned moves that I have given for this Pokemon deal the best with these specific battles and these specific mons. But just keep in mind that Swampert is going to be good for other things, maybe like cave encounters or things like that, so keep that in mind as you use Mudkip and its evolutionary line throughout this playthrough. Next up for grab on the team is Zigzagoon. This is solely for the purpose of using Cut and Strength until we get the Mon later in the team who actually has those moves on its moveset. You can put other HMs on this Pokemon as well, but eventually you will have to teach them to your team members, so just be prepared for that later on down the road. The next actual team member is Ralts. You can find it on Route 102. Ralts is a pretty feral Pokemon until it is fully evolved into Gardevoir, so be careful with it. Also, we are using Gardevoir instead of Gallade, since you can't get a Dawnstone in this game until you complete Victory Road, unless you trade it in from another game, but that was not an option for me, so I decided to still use Gardevoir, and I probably honestly still would anyway, because of the Fairy type. The moveset for Gardevoir is Psychic, Moonblast, or Dazzling Gleam, Energy Ball or Magical Leaf, and then Draining Kiss. Gardevoir learned its Magical Leaf at level 17, Draining Kiss at level 23, Psychic at level 30 or 31 depending on if it learns that it's a Kirlia or a Gardevoir, and Moonblast at level 62. The TMs for Energy Ball can be found in the Safari Zone, and for Dazzling Gleam it can be found on Route 123. With this moveset, Gardevoir takes on Brawly, Tate and Liza, Tabitha, Courtney, Maxie, Shelly, Matt, Archie, Wallace, Wally's Altaria, Roselia, and Gallade, Sydney's team, Phoebe's team except for Sableye, well, Phoebe's Sableye, Drake, Steven's Claydol, and your rivals Wailord and Mega Sceptile. Gardevoir is the main contributor to the fact there's only one team for both Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby because it does well against both evil teams. It can be risky to have Gardevoir in on dark types, but it should be able to outspeed all of them, which should cause you no problem. Next on our team, we move to Rust Turf Tunnel to catch the only Pokemon that you can find in there, Whismur. Whismur is an odd pick for this team and an odd pick for me, but it fulfills a great final slot on our team, and honestly, without looking this up, I probably never would have chose this thing, but X-Cloud is actually really kind of cool to use. For moves, X-Cloud will know Surf, Flamethrower or Overheat, Ice Beam, and Shadow Ball. All of these are TMs or HMs. Surf you can get from Wally's uncle after beating Norman. Flamethrower is found on Victory Road, so use Overheat until then. Ice Beam can be found in Sea Mauville, and Shadow Ball can be found in Mount Pyre. Feel free to use some of X-Cloud's normal type moves until you get the final moves for this set, as they can be very powerful since they are stab moves on this Pokemon. With these moves, X-Cloud is a good option if you need him on for any situation, and it also does well against Tate and Liza, Courtney's camera up, Tabitha's camera up, Maxie's camera up, Wally's team except for Delcatty and Gallade, Sydney's Cacturn, Shiftry, Phoebe's team except for Sableye, Glacia's team, Drake's team, Steven's entire team, and May and Brendan's Swellow and Sceptile. X-Cloud is not the most useful Pokemon, but it does have its perks, being a pure normal type, and making it one of the best ways to deal with ghost types in this game. Next we head to Dewford Cave to grab our fighting type, Makuhita. Makuhita does not have a very big move pool, it's very shallow, but it is a good fighting type and it is necessary to have on your team to complete the game. Hariyama's final move set should be your choice of a fighting type move, although I would recommend Brick Break, Bulk Up, Knock Off, and Rock Smash. Knock Off is learned at level 19 and the rest of the moves are TM moves. Bulk Up is given to you by Brawly after you defeat him. Brick Break is found in Sootopolis, so just use Force Palm until then, or maybe even use Force Palm throughout the entire game. And Rock Smash is given to you in Mauville. With these moves, Hariyama takes on Watson, Norman, Tate and Liza, but I wouldn't recommend it, Shelly, Matt, Archie's, Mighty Emmas, and Sharpedos, Wally's, Delcatty, and Magneton, Sydney's entire team, Phoebe's entire team except for Sableye, Glacia's entire team, Steven's Aggron, Cradilly, and Armeldo, and your rivals, Macargo. Hariyama is not the best Mon, but you do need a fighting type to really take on Norman and just to make that section of the game easier for you. Otherwise, the Norman fight can be a little bit challenging, especially with Slaking being a very, very powerful Pokemon. Next up, we are heading to everyone's favorite route in the music for this game right now, Route 110, where we will find an Electrike. Electrike is a fast and a powerful hitter, and it also can be a Mega Hit on your team, so that is something to keep in mind later on. Manectric should know Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, Thunder Wave, and any other move you want for coverage. I used Hidden Power in my game, which actually was an Ice-type move for me, but it's really whatever you want to do. You could grab Charge Beam to power up your special attack, or you could grab Hyper Beam for just a huge power output. Thunder Wave is a starting move Electrike learns. Thunderbolt is given to you by Watson after you do the new Mauville task, but you can just use Discharge until then. Flamethrower is given to you in Victory Road, again just use Overheat until you get it. With this moveset, Manectric can defeat Winota, Maxie's Golbat, Shelly Sharpedo, Matt's Sharpedo, Archie's Golbat and Sharpedo, Wallace's team, Wally's Roselia, Sydney's Cacturn and Shiftry, Glacia, Steven's Skarmory, and your rivals Swellow, Wailord, and Sceptile. Manectric will be useful for all of the water routes in the game as well, so even though it may seem underwhelming in this preview, it actually puts in a lot of work for your team and makes the game progression a lot easier. And last but not least, we will head over to Route 120 to grab the disaster Pokemon, Absol. Shout out to Dave for loving this Pokemon. Gotta love Dave. Now this is a bit later in the game for my usual teams, but Absol is actually the best option we have for this final slot, as a dark type is really solid at the end of this game. For moves, teach Absol Night Slash, X-Scissor, Cut, and Strength. Night Slash is learned at level 29. X-Scissor can be found in Victory Road, so pretty much just use Swords Dance or Psycho Cut until then as a way to power up your moves or just as a psychic coverage move. Cut is an HM received in Rustboro, and Strength is an HM received in Route 112 from your rival. Absol does really well in taking on Tate and Liza, Wally's Roselia, Sydney's Cacturn, and Shiftry, Phoebe's team, except Sableye, Glacia's Frostlasses, Steven's Claydol and Metagross, and Brendan or May's Sceptile. Absol comes a little too late in the game, sadly, to be really useful on your team, but it still does provide a really good option for your team, and it's a really cool way to deal with Tate and Liza when you have to get to that point in the game, as it is a double battle, and that Pokemon will really destroy the Psychic type gym. Well, that's your best team for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire from me. Let me know what you think of it in the comment section down below, and let me know if you ever use this team in a playthrough. Let me know how it worked for you, because I would love to hear about it. Also, let me know what game you want me to cover next in this channel. Just a reminder to you guys, all this information comes from me doing a lot of research before I even start the game, and then I also play through the entire playthrough with the team, using the movesets, changing things as I go. So this and all my other best team videos are really heavily researched and really heavily analyzed. So if you guys would show that like, I would really appreciate it. So make sure you do that down below, as well as if you enjoyed it and you want to see more content from me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can see more content coming out in the future. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed. So until next time, my name is Chaos, and I am signing off. Stay safe, and as always, burn it up.